What was that?
Perfect.
You want to be that guy?
Wow. What's up, everyone? Good morning to Decentralized TV. This is Crypto and Coffee, where we talk about coffee and drink about crypto. That's a joke. Here is our friend Jaime. He's joining us today.
It was solo. I didn't want you to go solo. I love this coffee.
No, there's no such thing as solo.
Absolutely.
There's the squad. I'm hanging out with Indo and all the boys. You know.
Absolutely. Missing you guys.
Yeah. So, jumping into it, man, we got some cool news today. But we wanted to do some, coverage of the markets first. Real quick, I'm going to cover the global and altcoin markets, and then Jaime's got some pretty key information about just where exactly Bitcoin might be going. So, if we would check it out. So, in the general markets, right? I'm sorry, I didn't christen the show. Now it's Crypto and Coffee. Let's go. So looks like Bitcoin's still doing the crab walk. We're going sideways. No big deal. We can't really stop that until we have some big news, but we got some big news. There's always pressure in the markets. Ethereum is whooping some tail on the 7-day. And I think there's good reason for that. I think right now people are trying to really build useful applications. And so you'll see a lot of coins that are not just money. It's literally a software development kit to develop decentralized applications. People are really bullish on that. So, Ethereum, Binance doing the same thing. They announced that they're working on that decentralized storage. So I think that's what the 6.1% is about. Polygon is absolutely crushing it, and the reason being is they're building better than Ethereum. Polygon's building to overcome Ethereum shortcomings, and so because of that, it just contributes to the space. So if you are looking to get into NFTs and building decentralized applications or playing around with decentralized applications, Polygon's faster than Ethereum. Polygon is cheaper than Ethereum. Polygon has better documentation, in my opinion, than Ethereum. So I think you'll have a good time if you go. It's nuts. It really is. And it's purple, which is way cooler than whatever this spiky butt plug Ethereum's logo is. So there's that. So I think the takeaway is that people are really bullish on things that actually support applications. Go figure. So the other thing I want us to start paying attention to is where the global cryptocurrency market cap is at. This kind of informs not just Bitcoin and not just altcoins, but generally where the space is moving. And when traditional investors move out of the space, you can usually see it right here. You can usually see it on the global, market cap, because who doesn't sell their coins when the market fluctuates? Hodlers. They don't.
And builders.
Yeah, hodlers and builders are hodlers. So you just gotta hang on to it, and you're like, I don't have time for that crap. I'm building, so. Or I don't want to play myself. I'm just going to keep stacking, and it's fine. Those are great approaches. So, if we look at the max, if you're wondering why people are bullish on this space, that's why. In 2014, it started off with barely $1 billion, and in 2021 late, we ripped all the way up to trillion.
Yes, it looks like 3 trillion.
Yeah, 3 trillion.
Oof,
so
nice.
we're right here. We're in a bear market. that's cool. It's great because anything you accumulate there, when we go back to these higher levels, you're gonna feel the love from that. You're gonna be in a better position because of it. So if anyone
everyone's running for the hills, that's when you should enter for sure.
Yeah, it's exactly that. So if you would, though, let us know how you're doing in the chat. If you have any random questions throughout the show, please let us know. This is an interactive show, and we're happy to engage with the community all throughout the show. So please let us know. But Jaime, if you would,
yes.
go ahead
I
and
want
take
to
over.
jump into it. Yes. So what I want to, I'll do a stream later today
Mhm.
pertaining to that, just like we have Crypto and Coffee led by Brandon. I want to do the technical analysis of where we're at. And I really want to focus on things that are happening at the moment so you can actually
Yeah.
visualize and understand it and learn in the process, just like I had to learn the hard way. That's how we're going to learn with these. So today, one of the things that Gandhi, good seeing you, bro. One of the things that we want to cover is what is a bearish divergence. So I'm about to share my screen and we will begin with the monthly because that's where it's obvious it already occurred. And I removed as much as I could so it wouldn't be so dirty. Does this look good, Brandon?
Yeah,
On your
you whipped it out for everyone to see. Go for it.
Okay, beautiful. Whipped out. So, what is a bearish divergence? In the simplest form, is looking at it as the rocket running out of fuel and has to come back down to refuel again. So, an obvious where you can see it by looking at it in the past is, do you see the price action when you draw a line? And this is the top, the market top we had on the monthly. It's pretty clear that price hit a top and then a double top, but look at it, it went higher. But if you look at the RSI below, and in this case, it's what Don Frank calls the really stupid indicator, because usually he doesn't see much use to it overall. But you can ask him on the precise meaning of why he calls it that, but it's a good name for it. But if you notice, the RSI comes lower. So as price is rising, the RSI starts declining. So you have a bearish divergence right here and a second one right here. So you have a higher price with a lower strength to reach that next high. That is a bearish divergence. And then what the result is, you see a drop in price afterwards because it ran out of fuel. Now, why do I bring this up today? It's because if we move over to the daily, let me flip over to the daily real quick. Here we go. And share this tab instead. On the daily, here's where we're at today. We had this beautiful run up. We see it paused at this point and it ran up again. And if we draw a line at this moment of where we're at, you see a rise overall on the price. So it's
Mhm.
rising. But look at what's happening on the RSI. You see a decline as we're going. So it's a repetition, but now on a lower time frame. You're seeing it run out of fuel. So what is the next action? Well, like on the monthly, it seems that Bitcoin is going to pull back at this moment, but it's not as it shouldn't be as bad as the monthly because we're down at a lower time frame. So if the pullback should not be as bloody. Nonetheless, you should always plan for the worst. So in this case, this run up overall to me is a sign of, okay, we're nearing the bottom. And now I'm looking for pullback zones to start entering Bitcoin for the long play. So as a hodler, moving forward. So this is what a swing trade would be. What am I looking at as entry points? The first two is where FTX broke down. When that implosion occurred, I see the 21,300 as a spot where we could come down to test and refuel the rocket. The next level I'm looking at is around the 19,700, 19,500 level to test it as support. If it holds as support, then and that's my next entry point. So I divide my money Usually, not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I've learned to do myself. You have to make your own decisions and look at your own risk. And always, always only put what you don't need or you can afford to lose. Please, for the love of God,
Yeah.
do not put money you need at the end of the month or
If
within.
Bitcoin goes up, I can pay my mortgage. You're like, don't do that.
Please don't do that. Please don't. So, and as a financial advisor, someone you trust for any of these moves. But what I'm looking at is I divide my funds into 6 slices. So if the remaining 3 or the remaining 2 don't hit, it's okay. At least I have cash reserves to enter at the next opportunity. There's always a next opportunity to enter. But I'm giving you 2 of them. If this breaks down, then now I'm looking at my original thesis of buying at the previous recent bottom for a double bottom, just like it occurred a double top. We can see a double bottom in this bear market to confirm that we are done. So I have these levels, and I'll go deeper into that later today to give you those levels overall, just so you can learn and see as we move forward. So those are my first 2 I'm looking at, and from there on, I stay cool and huddle on. If you have any questions, I don't know if there's any questions in the chat. We can move forward also, Brandon, or if you have any questions yourself.
Oh, don't you worry. This is Crypto and Coffee. We move forward sometimes. But yeah, this whole time I was thinking about, like, you know, this little bit.
Be your tackle and fuel. We're going to use them to play football. Tackle and fuel.
Yeah, the RSI is tackling fuel. It's tackling fuel. And you know,
Precisely.
yeah, I'm goofy, but the whole time I'm just thinking about that. like, we need more RSI for tackling fuel.
That's right.
But
and if you know how to use it, you can win.
Yeah, exactly. So Jaime, I really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Go over. We just have this huge moment coming up in Bitcoin for the year, and we're all, even though we're bullish, we're bearish in the short term because we want to scoop more bags, kids. You know,
that's it. We're looking for opportunities to fill your bags, guys. This is not a Bitcoin is doomed at all. We are builders with Brandon and the team, and we're looking for those opportunities now. Now that we're seeing that bottom formation, this is the time to start looking at putting in some of your money, and we grow.
That was the wrong button. Anyways, so this is big news. I don't know if everyone uses the Brave browser. If you don't, you should. It's the best web browser out there. Reason being, you know how Chrome beat Firefox out of, like, speed and, like, extensions. You know, so you could really get your browser experience how you want it. Internet Explorer is what people used when they had to and they didn't want to, and it's actually the most popular Google Chrome downloading application. So, I mean, at least they're good at something. But you know, Chrome was made open source, so there's Chromium, and so people took Chromium, this open source version of Chrome, and they built all of these, like, security controls and privacy controls and cryptocurrency Web3 integrations directly into it. It has a Tor browser automatically in it. You can have different identities. So if you have, like, you know, a work account and a personal account, or maybe you have an account you only use for trading crypto stuff, and then you have another account you use for, like, all your social media stuff. I don't know how you want to, you know, cut your stuff up, but Brave lets you do all of those things. So, you know, most crypto heads are using Brave because it has ad blockers in it. It's really good. It's really good tooling.
Yes,
but,
and Brandon to the team has been very specific. Guys, this is the reason why you want to look at Brave as a browser, because they are non-intrusive into your life. Like,
don't play yourself, homie. Don't play yourself. That's the take. But yeah, we have this huge news from Brave browser. They announced that Solana is partnering with them to bring decentralized application support to mobile. And so already inside of Brave, you have basic attention token. So just for using the browser, you get paid a cryptocurrency that's actually worth something. It's a really brilliant idea, actually, where you know, their whole concept is people can use the web browser, and then if there are ads that are non-intrusive, they end up getting paid for that. So you, as the person seeing any advertisement, get paid. And the idea here is kind of what Dogecoin was doing. You can tip people and say thank you for not bombarding me with crappy advertisements, right? So basic attention token's pretty cool.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
their
what's up?
token,
What's
by the
up?
way.
Yeah, feed the bull. Appreciate you, man. So Brad is for the moment really focusing on his other channel, Own the Chaos, and Tamp is focusing on some really big business deals going on.
Yes,
We
they're building. Everyone's
they're-
building.
trust me,
guys.
they're building. There's no falling out. Everyone's good. But we have looked at what happened last year and where we want to go with DCTV and how we can provide as much value as possible to, our whole community and grow the community even bigger, so we can all get our friends in a good spot as crypto starts rising. So part of this is we're going to be creating different programs on DCTV. So I guess I'll announce it here. So we have crypto and coffee, where the focus really is like technicals. The focus is like it's a smaller, more intimate setting where people can really ask questions and get answers. I mean, I'm a enterprise architect and a blockchain architect, so I'm looking to help take really high level concepts and make them make sense to anyone, no matter what level they're at. And we cover the price action as well, so people can have an understanding of just where we're at every day, so they don't get FOMO'd. We don't want any FOMO, any FUD in our space. We want to just be educated, right?
And well grounded
so,
to realities.
Yeah. And so the announcement is, once we do start heading more in a, bullish direction, we will be launching another program on decentralized TV called Hashing It Out. And Hashing It Out is meant to be a panel of cryptocurrency experts, including Tamp, and most likely hosted by Brad if he has the the bandwidth for it. And it'll be a lot of the silliness, the banter, hot takes, that kind of thing. Really exciting stuff. It won't necessarily be as like deep and as informative as this one might be, but it'll be a good vibe. Everyone will be laughing a lot. So,
Precisely. And
and-
I owe some information also. Let's say how to get crypto exposure in traditional finance. So that's on
Yep.
me. I'll make sure I do bring that next time.
yeah, and Jaime is also launching a short series where he's going to be covering cryptocurrency like price fundamentals and what he's thinking about his own trades. And so that'll be its
Wait.
own show, and it'll be included in other shows as well. So
Precisely.
yeah, big
that's fine.
programming. We're going to actually act like a television station, not just a bunch of nerds on the internet. So anyways,
But we are
appreciate the
nerds on
question.
the internet.
No, well, yeah, we're not just nerds. We're nerds who
We're sweaty nerds.
who makes, yeah, we're silly nerds too. Man, I don't know, this poll. People think stoners are going to eat in a muchy fury. I don't know, man. Get involved in that poll if you didn't see it. It's goofy, but I'm curious to know. So I have ADHD and I'm focusing. Let's go. So anyways, yeah, so Brave is doing cool stuff. And the fact that Solana is now integrating with them, it's not the first cryptocurrency that's integrated with Brave, but this is a big deal because Solana, as everyone knows, has a lot of other developers working on their platform. So,
And they are
Solana's not. Go ahead.
And they're looking for adoption in the end. Solana. Keep in mind, it's not decentralized for you purists, but they are building towards adoption. They have a Solana store out there in the public. Now they're integrating into one of the best browsers out there that respects your privacy and is crypto friendly. So that's what's important, is the fact that there is adoption coming. And decentralized apps, for those of you that aren't familiar, literally are applications that are not controlled or centralized, where there is a risk of censorship. DApps are actually decentralized. So if one of the servers are brought down, the other one picks up. So it's it's good for crypto overall. This news.
Yeah. So let's get into the details here. So Brave Software has announced Solana dApp support in a new partnership, boosting its price in its 24 hours. In an official Twitter release, Brave will enable the wallet to store, send, and purchase Solana support tokens. Whoa, that's big. That's cool. Crypto gets a push on Brave. So Amelia Daly, head of partnership at Solana Foundation, said user experience can be very fragmented in crypto. Amen. That's super true. The Brave dApp integration is important because it allows for seamless browser-based connections to your favorite Solana programs and is optimized for mobile. That's big because more and more, millennials, Gen Z, and Gen A, they're really starting to use mobile as their default interface with the computer. So having a mobile browser that integrates directly into NFTs and wallets, that type of thing, that is a buzzword in Silicon Valley. They say mobile first, right? And so that's very forward thinking. Brave Software says at Solana, dApp support is now available on Brave for iOS and Android. Dope.
Nice.
In addition to storing, sending, and buying, what's SPL? Solana PL. What's the PL?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the PL.
Well, Jaime's going to look that up. I
Yep.
don't know what Solana PL is.
Okay.
Anyways, Solana PL tokens in the wallet. You can also connect and interact with apps like Magic Eden, Orca, Jupiter Exchange right in your browser app. So I don't know how involved everyone's been with Solana NFTs, but you know how like Ethereum and Polygon predominantly have OpenSea as the NFT interface. Magic Eden is the go-to for Solana NFTs. It's just like OpenSea. You can view all your NFTs. You can easily connect your wallet if you use MetaMask, for example, or if actually in that case you wouldn't use MetaMask, you'd use Phantom. But Phantom's just like MetaMask. You can have your private keys in a extension in your browser. You can authenticate into it, and then the browser has the ability to request signed transactions to your wallet, so you can buy and sell NFTs and get your money in the DGen way, right?
I got the meaning. SPL stands for Solana Program Library tokens.
Solana what?
So Solana Program Library, which is a set of Solana programs that the Solana team has deployed on chain. SPL tokens are similar to your RC20 tokens, since every
Okay.
SPL token has a standard set of functionality. So it's kind of like
Got
the
it.
BNB, or for Binance, SPL
Yep.
is for Solana, just so you know.
They're fungible tokens on the blockchain. Okay.
Perfect.
Brilliant. So why is this a big deal? Well, this is just a drip in the bucket for the level of integration we're starting to see, right? The level of integration we're starting to see is native. You no longer have to go out of your way to be in crypto. And I think that that's what the space has needed, because I can tell you back in 2016, and even before that, if you wanted to know anything about cryptocurrency, you had to go to the forums and just ask people, because if it wasn't listed like on the white paper on the official website for the company, and you didn't have a technical like comprehension as is, you probably weren't using or building in the space, right?
Yep.
As
What were
opposed to
the
now,
popular
yeah.
ones? Reddit was one of them. Where did you
Yeah,
go?
Bitcoin Talk was the biggest one.
Okay.
That was huge. Yeah, and Bitcoin Talk is still active, but also people started using Medium, a whole lot. You just saw
for articles.
developer, Substack then popped up. People started using that a whole lot, but Bitcoin Talk is where I had to frequent. But the point being is it's following the normal crossing the chasm pattern, where you have visionaries who can see what this technology is capable of. They will spend money to experiment with new technology, even though like there's no use case for it yet, and they're just looking for what the use cases might be. And so like I find myself in that category. Like I will spend money just on the newest technology, just so I can play with it and get used to it and understand it and see what I can't make it do, and can I hack it, and that type of thing. Can I make it do stuff it's not supposed to do, even within like the boundaries it gave me, right? Like that type of personality is a visionary. Okay. And then usually the visionary's got a bunch of friends or a community of people who are kind of watching what they're doing. They're personally not the ones bushwhacking and experimenting in that way, but what they do is they notice, hey, that's kind of cool, that's starting to work. And then you'll get early adopters. Okay. Early adopters already see like the possibilities because of the visionaries. And so the early adopters kind of pop in, and I think after that bull run in 2017, you really saw early adopters come into the space, right? You saw people who weren't necessarily like the engineers, the hyper techies. You saw people who were just like, hey, this is kind of cool. Like I can kind of see how this is valuable. And they really started to get in. And the Bitcoin Pub was a huge launch for that. Peter Saddington had launched Bite-sized Bitcoin, and that turned into the Bitcoin Pub, and that turned into decentralized TV. Just as things evolved, that's kind of how the patterns evolved. And then decentralized TV was bigger than just Peter. It was Peter and his community, right? Actually building together.
We had cohorts in there.
We had a cohort where Peter was showing us like, hey, here's what I've been doing. I want everyone else's perspective on this so that we can build together, because I'm not Jaime, I'm not Brandon, I'm not Tamp. Like, we have very different ways of looking at the world, and because of that, we have each other's sixes covered. As far as like not having blind spots in this space. So, we've gone through an evolution, but we have seen that everyone who's here right now, like, you are the early adopters, but you might be the last class of the early adopters. Congratulations. Really,
So
like that truly is an honor to everyone who is watching this, decentralized TV during this bear market. Like truly, you are the last early adopter class of crypto, and you get respect in the space because of that. You truly are pioneering. You're leading your families well, and
And
what
we
we're
had-
going to see. Go ahead, please.
No, we had that conversation precisely, Brandon, where within the Bitcoin pub and what we were built before, we had so many community members from all walks of life. Like, we had the accountants, the tax attorneys, we had the trading bot builders, we had like so many subjects. And that's when we were noobs way back then. We were looking way back then, as if it were many years ago.
Hey, time
but-
works exponentially, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You just get older quicker somehow.
Yeah.
So we would see how we could come to this community, and build and learn and connect a lot of our daily lives into this new industry that was up and coming, nascent. And we're seeing the same thing, just like Boss Don just mentioned. Yay, he's looking into the NFT platform, and his wife, just Bossy, is an attorney who's offered to come on to our show when this whole FTX thing goes live and the trial starts. We can have community members in the areas of expertise participate with us, and that's precisely what we're trying to accomplish here. So, Brandon, 100% on where we're headed.
Yeah, we're playing for keeps, and it's because we believe that crypto is not just a way to build wealth. We believe this is like it's part of our principles, right? Our principles is you are a sovereign. You deserve to own your life, liberty, and property. No one has the right to take what is rightfully yours. And if you don't implement operational security to protect your life, liberty, and property, you can't guarantee anyone else is going to protect it for you. And so, just as someone who's like, love your neighbor as yourself, like that principle, that's why we're building this way. We truly, sincerely love this community. We care about you and your families. We want to see you know how to not just protect yourselves, but also build legacy for you and your family. Right?
Yes.
Like that's like the heartbeat of what we do, and why we do all this, even when things are just a grind. because truly there's times where this is like I get joy out of this, but there are parts of it that I do not get joy out of.
But yet
Yeah.
the community back then were grinding for us new
Yeah.
people. And so now it's our way of paying it forward. And Hourglass Crypto, we agree with you. You are the last era. And our goal is for our community, our current community, to also become the leaders down the road so they can
Yeah.
welcome the noobs coming in that are the late adopters or the mass adoption when it comes. You're already very comfortable with this and you have a relationship within the community so we can grow together.
Right. And you know, like we're trying to solve some of these bigger problems in crypto in our own household, you know, proverbial household, you know, because I can't control other people's household like that. You know, I'm not their daddy. You know what I mean? It's that idea, you know, but you know, we can certainly curate a culture within our own, you know, community, within our own like proverbial household. And like in this community, like we hold serious to our principles, and there has to be fine tuning. Like we have to kind of keep each other in check, but that's why we are clicked up together. We're clicked up because we know like this guy, even when he's given a opportunity to scam people or an opportunity to do wrong just for quick gain, doesn't do it. Right. And we hold each other accountable to that. Gundy, come on, brother. You're a brother. You're not my daddy. You're my brother.
Yeah, he's one of our OGs, by the way.
Yeah. Shout outs to Gundy. But you know, we have to be solving problems that we see in other parts of the space in our own household, right? We have to be actually releasing good roadmaps, actually delivering well on those roadmaps, giving accurate information. If we do make mistakes, we take the time to actually go back and correct what we had said to make sure that we aren't disseminating you know, loosely. We're not giving out information fast and loose without correcting it once we know there was a problem. So, you know, our whole community jives with me all the time because I have this bad habit. Maybe it's a good habit. I don't know. But I'll be like, technically, that's not the case. You know, like that's not technically accurate. And so, like,
We have a meme.
yeah. So we have a meme like not technically, you know. So, but I believe it's important that people see things correctly. It's important that like we do accurately understand what tools can and cannot do. We accurately portray what they can and cannot do. We accurately portray what they are on target to do in the future, but may not be at currently because we're still building and trying to overcome some technical obstacles. So I encourage everyone else to hear that and to really try to embody that level of principle in yourself, because this space needs people who are not get rich quick, who are here for the long run and are here for self-custody and promotion of like these deep philosophical principles of like individual sovereignty. So that's my little spiel. I just wanted everyone to be on the same page with that, so you know like who you're dealing with, and
Yes.
truly like this is like because we care, like
Yes.
sincerely.
And we're building with purpose. So we have we will announce it when the time is right on what the next platform we're building so we can all really intercommunicate.
That's good. It's freaking cool.
It's
So anyways,
amazing.
back to the news. So what I was saying was exactly about to go into this topic, right? So we're seeing people build applications that are not just like things nerds have to go out of the way to get. They're just like in the tools you would normally use, and they're native. Like you don't have to go out of your way to get them. They have nice, pretty interfaces. They're not super cryptic as to how you work with them. And so this is what's necessary to go from this concept of like visionary to early adopter and move even further into early majority. Okay. And I tell you this, like, mark my words here. When we go over 100K on Bitcoin, you will see early majority pop up.
Yep.
Oh, Bitcoin's 100. I could have 6 figures if I had a Bitcoin. Like that's really how they're going to think about it. And so
the masses.
yeah. What's up, Indo? Love to you, bro.
Indo. And
you know, so yeah, go ahead.
true adoption is going to be when you hear that. Of course, they're usually the speculators jumping in. I
Yeah.
should have, I could have. Meanwhile, we keep telling you guys, this is the time we should start accumulating. We'll come back to this when we're over 100,000. But
Yeah.
true adoption, where the masses come in,
Mhm.
they won't realize there's crypto under the hood in what they're doing.
They don't have to.
Exactly. That's what
It
adoption
works.
means.
It's there.
And that's the goal we're building towards as a community. The ones that
Yeah.
want to understand under the hood and then know how to present it to the masses so that they don't even
Sure.
know how the validation, how the security, everything else works, thanks to crypto underneath.
And you can look at like even the credit card industry for how this works. Like you can see clearly like the majority of people don't know what a SQL database is. I reassure you, Visa uses SQL databases. They don't have to like the person swiping the card doesn't have to even have heard the word SQL database. They don't have to know what that is because that's just the technology it's built on, right? They don't have to know what like multi-geo redundant servers are or what
But Brandon does.
like they don't have to know that kind of stuff because it's under the hood.
Right.
What they have to know is like, oh, here's my 4 sets of 4 numbers and here's the expiration date and here's the 3-digit on the back. And if my card starts telling me that some guy in India is spending my money, then I need to call them and say, hey, I think I got hacked. Nice. Jaime and I got sick at the same time, by the way. It's been
Yeah.
great.
We were at an event out in Tulsa, and
We
then
got sick before we went to it though.
but we only hugged it out, nothing else. I don't know why we all got sick. Tampa also got affected by it.
Yeah. Time to level up together and leave that worthless fiat controlled by the Fed. Yeah, man. I'll speak on that in a second, but if only HNT would do something innovative with Solana. Yeah. Well,
Yes. What a
we got-
wasted opportunity.
we
these
got
guys.
opinions with that, bro. We got opinions with that. Jaime and I, you got no idea how deep we are in that
deep.
ecosystem.
Holy shit, we were deep. We were
But-
dark deep.
The way that we have to look at this whole space though, we're you know how like back in the like 90s, like punk rock had this whole idea of like, yeah, fuck the system, yeah, we'll burn it down. Like that doesn't work. As soon as you show up with violence, you're just gonna get thrown in jail or killed. That's what's gonna happen to you.
And you'll be the example that everyone else. So
you
Don't do
can't do that. You can't because we work in 5th generational warfare now. And 5th generational warfare is ideas. Believe it or not, it's non-violent. It's just ideas. So if you come to the world with a better idea and you execute better on it, and it's easier to use, or it offers a way of doing things that solves problems other methods have, people are just going to use it. They're just going to use it. And so, like, if you really hate the way some things work, just make a better system that runs alongside it, and people will be like, hey, I wish there was some way that the banks wouldn't take my money and inflate it to hell. Oh, well, there actually is this thing. You can actually have your money in cryptocurrency and only you control it. And there's no middleman. Oh, wow, that seems like a cool thing. Is it hard to use? No, you already have the application installed. Just start using it. Oh, cool. This is really neat. And if it's easy, like Venmo, that kind of like, use case, and it becomes ubiquitous, like it becomes everywhere and taken for granted, people are just going to use it because it's a better system.
correct.
So,
and they're
Yeah,
actually you see that in Africa. Like I expected it more in
Yeah.
South America. We're working towards that. But in Africa, they're using it. A lot of people that couldn't bank are actually using Bitcoin as their transaction for bicycles, for very cheap things that if they used a bank, all of it would go in fees and they can't buy the bicycle. So you're seeing heavy adoption. And I agree with Hourglass Crypto. That's the way to get into this community. And Gundy, absolutely. Don't be a martyr, because
there's no need for it.
yeah, just join the current and then divert it. Don't go against it. It's harder.
There
to change.
are hills worth dying on, but we don't have to die on this hill. What we have to do is we have to be true to our principles and just peacefully plant our own garden, proverbially,
Yes.
right? Like,
and take care of our families. Our
it's
families
that.
don't need martyrs.
yeah, if you're dead, you can't feed your kids anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this principle applies to our next story though, and that's what I was trying to give like the context for, right? As these applications become easier to use, people do just start using them, right? Yeah. And right.
Yes, brother.
Yes.
Sí, señor.
Yeah.
Hacia adelante.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is these applications get easier and easier to use. And if there's adoption, there's a price increase. And that's what this story is about. Like why this is innovative, because this is a drip in the bucket. There will be many stories like this. We're going to keep seeing more and more stories that like, hey, you know, tools you normally use, like your grandma might even be using these tools. If you came over to her house and installed Windows updates and installed a few applications, you're like, grandma, quit using Edge, use Brave, you know, like that kind of thing. So, you know, looking at this, you know, Solana scores new integration with Brave browser. Here's how this can boost the price. And I actually think this is meta, right? Solana is currently recording a trend in its price action after securing a new partnership with the new Brave browser. At the time of writing, digital currency is up 1.8%, you know, to $23 in what looks like an onset for a new price resurgence. I think they're on target for it. I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
You know, on
They
Twitter,
keep
Brave
building.
made the announcement that Solana dApp support is now available on the browser. Brave users will be able to connect to the top Solana applications like Magic Eden, Orca, and Jupiter Exchange and carry out their DeFi and NFT related transactions. So the Solana integration was made possible on both mobile and web versions of the browser. The use of the platform is encompassing and flexible, and users can earn little rewards in the form of basic attention tokens, right? That's what I was talking about, the advertisement token that you can get. So the integration of Solana into Brave is bound to be beneficial for the entire Solana ecosystem, considering the fact that the browser has over 62 million active users worldwide. Solana, one of the most renowned Ethereum killers, I hate that term, it's so dumb. It is expanding its reach to new users, and its ecosystem has its upsides in both short term and long term. The upside is best embodied in its potential for these new users to go on Solana acquisition spree, which could positively impact the price. That's exactly going to happen. And please understand who the people are who are behind Solana. Silicon Valley is behind Solana.
Centralized.
I want to speak to that. So I'm personally friends with people who are deep into the Solana ecosystem. Like I'm friends with somebody who actually watched their dog. So if you know who you are, shout outs. But you know, they are close friends with the person who did the first round of funding for Solana. And so, you know, I've been able to ask a lot of questions, and, you know, they've written books on NFTs, that kind of topic. So pretty interesting people, but Solana has these like big tech minds behind it. Like there's people who have deep pockets, and they're looking at Silicon Valley in general, and I think that's why they were able to get that Brave browser integration, is because they are Silicon Valley. Brave browser is, you know, in Silicon Valley, so they were able to work those, like, you know, flesh and blood type contacts. But people say often that Solana is centralized, so I wanted to speak to that technically. Okay, Solana is a distributed system. Okay, distributed means the system has nodes that are in different physical locations. Okay, if something is to be decentralized, it must first be distributed. But what makes it different in a decentralized versus distributed is if something is distributed, it's physically all over the place. So if one node goes down, the other ones are still up and running. You're good. If a meteor comes out of the sky because God hates Solana or whatever reason, and it strikes this data center and takes it out, well, there's other data centers that would still be up and running. Now, that being said, if God hated Solana, all of them would go down and Solana would be gone. But we don't see that happening. So what makes it decentralized? Ownership. if one person owns 40 servers that are all over the world, that one person still owns them and can remote into them and can make them, coordinate
Change
attacks, for
data.
example.
Yep.
So we're talking about operational security when we talk about decentralized. Okay. If it's decentralized, one person cannot have a majority stake on the network because there's more than one person holding at least 1/3 of the network, right? So no one person can actually have like the ability to play by their own rules and make everyone else less equal than them, right? So going back to like the idea of like Animal Farm, like all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal. That whole like communist idea, right? Decentralization guards against that. And that's why like we are decentralized TV, because we believe that you shouldn't just be distributed, you should be decentralized. Everyone, if like the perfect system is that every single person who interacts with the system hosts their own
Participates.
infrastructure and participates in
Yes.
a decentralization. So there's a decoupling of power, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
So the opposite of it is when you think, okay, Meta or Facebook, you think Zuckerberg. If you think of any organization, if you think of an individual or a CEO, that's a centralized thing, and that's a good point, Hourglass Crypto, regarding Solana, because it was a pet project of his. Now, here's the important thing for Solana is to prove that they were not necessarily a participant in. They were just invested in by a scammer, a rug puller, but it does not mean that Solana itself. Now, how do you do that? By continuing to build. Ignore the noise, put your head down, and continue building. And what we've seen today is they do continue building. And they are backed by overall the Silicon Valley, not just SBF. SBF was one of the large investors, but they're still producing fruit. So that's what we're looking at for moving forward.
Yeah, well said. And I don't personally have any technical evidence to prove that Solana is not decentralized. I don't know if it is or isn't. What I do know is there is a lot of people who had a lot of Solana before it really got big. And so it's kind of that question of Ripple, right? Ripple is undoubtedly, Ripple, the company, owns 80% of XRP. XRP is undoubtedly a distributed system. Undoubtedly.
Not
they have nodes all over the
decentralized.
place. I could personally set up a node. Like their infrastructure is distributed. But the question is, are they decentralized? Well, if we know as a plain matter of fact that Ripple, the company, owns 80% of all of the XRP, that's a good question. Do they have the ability to overcome controls on the network? Like, do they have the ability to speed
Override,
transactions just because they
change.
have that much money? I don't know. They certainly have the ability to manipulate the market. Certainly, they can change the circulating volume at any point in time, and they can buy it back up to get it out. So,
It's centralized.
go in with your eyes open in that, because I'm speaking to the technicals. Like I don't think Ripple, the company, has the ownership over all the nodes, but that's just one type of attack. That's like 51% attack. There's other types of attacks too, where like if you just have so much money on that network, at any point you could sell it and bring it into circulation to crank the price up, and you could buy it back in order to get it out of circulation, and you don't care. You have 80%. Like you're playing with fun bucks that are just printed out. Like who cares, So just eyes wide open with that kind of stuff. So I can't speak to whether Solana truly is centralized or decentralized in practice. I can just tell you that, like, at very least, like Ethereum, it's a software developer kit. It's a place where things can be proven out, and at very least, it is a better system than our flat out centralized servers. Like Facebook, sponsored by the NSA and Pfizer, and I joke, but I'm not joking. Shout outs to my friends of the NSA. You know, I know you guys listen, and I just wanted to say I'm praying for you and your families. You know, so yeah, that's the whole story with Solana. I wanted to cover another story about kind of where like the price is headed, since we have Jaime today. And you know, if we look over here, you know, Jerome Powell had a conversation about disinflationary process. So Bitcoin rises to 23.3K as Jerome Powell repeats disinflationary process comment. So the Fed chair spoke days after the central bank last hiked interest rates. And so while the disinflationary process has started, it will take a good deal of time before the US Federal Reserve is ready to declare victory in its fight against rising price levels, said Jay Powell, discussing the economy of Carlyle Group, co-founder of, co-founder David Rubenstein. So Rubenstein wasted no time in the interview, leading off by asking if last Friday's blowout job reports, which apparently there's over 500,000 jobs added, might change the Fed's decision 2 days earlier to hike its benchmark federal funds rate by 25 basis points. Powell said that the news wouldn't have been likely to have made a difference. So Powell's post-meeting press conference last week was notable, sending both traditional markets and Bitcoin sharply higher when he said disinflationary process has started. So why are we talking about this boring crap? Well, good question. So the very fact that the Federal Reserve has the ability to make calls that change the stock market, and now we're seeing that also have parity in Bitcoin, is proof that big banks and institutional investors are here to stay in the space. Love it or hate it, I'm mixed with it. Like I hate it because I really like the fact that we're kind of purist early on. Like we don't have, it's like we're distinct from,
Yes.
the things we
And
don't like.
And banks are a for-profit organization. So to me, them getting their grubby hands onto this industry is, we're going to see fees. We're going to see all this crap tacked onto the pure asset. And that's one of the things that we want to stay away from. Peer-to-peer is truly what Bitcoin was created for. It's decentralized. So I'm with you, Brandon.
Yeah, so I don't like that there's middlemen coming in, but that's why we're educating people on the space. Because if you have some reason, to benefit from their middleman behavior, then do what you need. I mean, money's money, green is green, but please understand that like the reason Bitcoin takes care of you is because you are part of, like Indo's saying here, dirty shovel gang, right? like when you hold your own keys, you get the middleman out of the picture, and then they don't have ownership over you. They can't tell you what you can and can't do anymore.
They can't take it from you. Nothing.
And that's the whole, that's why Bitcoin is valuable beyond just like people might pay for it, right? Bitcoin's valuable because there doesn't have to be a middleman. Like I can transact with Jaime for goods or services, and there's no bank in between. There's just a big decentralized network of nodes that securely process my transaction, and there's no funny business. So on the bright side, though, I will say having these traditional investors in our space means the tide rises. Okay. And yeah, it comes with like traditional money problems, but they bring more money into the space. So people who are buying and holding on based on principle, you're gonna have a lot more wealth than you thought you had before. Just be patient, just keep DCAing, just keep holding your coins, and weather the storms, and look for the long term. Like really look at Bitcoin as a means of establishing legacy for your family, regardless of how much money you make in your career. Like you could work at you could be a excuse me, you could be a barista, and if you're just DCAing, even as a barista with some roommates, like you might be in your 60s with a lot of wealth. Like for real.
Yes.
Like and so this is why like it's almost like giving like a pistol to like a small pretty woman. Like yeah, a man is way stronger than hear me out. Like yeah, a man is much stronger than a small pretty woman, but she's got a gun. It's a great equalizer. Like she can defend herself. Yeah. And so it's that principle. Like it doesn't matter how much money you make in your career. If you're DCing into Bitcoin, you're going to be wealthy. You're going to be able to financially defend yourself. And so
Yes. And you own
today's
it. It's in
today's weird
your
analogy brought to you by the data lord. My brain works so weird.
a great equalizer, my man. That's the bottom line, what you said. So it's very true.
Yeah.
Because now you actually own it. It's in your possession. It's in your uh cold storage, and no one can
Right.
take it from you unless you give it up.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, our lordy. So our next story is the last story of the day here. So Binance is going to support users in Turkey's earthquake region with $100 airdrops in BNB tokens. So this is the kind of stuff that crypto has the ability to really solve. In case
Yes.
anyone didn't know, people in Turkey had a really big earthquake, and it
Big one.
just a lot of their buildings weren't like equipped to handle earthquakes, because it's not a common problem they have, and it looked like 9/11. Like buildings were just leveling, like
Yeah.
top to bottom, just dropping. But it wasn't necessarily a controlled demolition. It was like earthquakes were literally moving the ground, and they just didn't have the structural supports to sway and move with it. They just collapsed. So it's heartbreaking. You know, lives lost, property lost,
Yeah.
people injured, people homeless, you know, people having to really rally together to take care of their community, which is beautiful to see the strength of a community, especially through hard times. But
Yeah. And
yeah,
this
man.
this one is so this one is so important to understand the difference of previous donations, the traditional way versus this way. So think about it. Binance is an exchange, and they are an organization that has access in Turkey to transact and provide services to the Turkish people. Think about it. In the traditional way, you go to a telethon, or you find some organization that is raising for the country. You give them your money because you really want to support the people in their time of need, and you wonder how much of it truly goes to the end recipient, the person who really needs it. This method, through crypto, all the Turkish people have KYC'd, have shown that I am Turkish. Here's my ID.
Yeah.
And now Binance has a means to be like, everybody with Turkish IDs, I can give you, and I'm sorry, not can, I am giving you 100. It's not much,
Yeah.
but it's our way to thank you and help you. Here we go. And here's your $100. So it's truly effective. These are actual clients being affected, and thus they know it's going to the end user that needs it. So crypto is changing. It's decentralizing it. So the middleman, or the person organizing the telethon, isn't taking the majority for marketing and everything else and their
Yeah.
team. This is actually going to the end user. That's the difference of decentralization, peer to peer, versus everything else.
So well said. Yeah, this is like one of the biggest things that
It changes the game.
we benefit from this globally.
Precisely.
We get into this point where like we don't have to, like Jaime said, we don't have to have so much middleman money being taken out just to help people out across the world. Instead, we can instantly distribute it to everyone, know that they got it, know that
It's on
they
chain.
can move it around. It's liquid, right?
Yeah.
And the bigger thing is that like we can use these crises people are going through as opportunities to actually help them long term in their finances, help them actually get integrated into you know, crypto and Bitcoin and Web3, to where they can really hold custody, and even though this was a terrible thing, like it can be used for their good long term. So beautiful, man. This is like a pretty heartwarming story, actually.
Awesome.
So shout outs to CZ for just the love he's pouring on the Turkish people here.
Without a
In
doubt.
case anyone was wondering too, you know, like Ephesus in the Bible, that is Turkey. That's the area that is. So Yeah, the Turkish people are amazing. So
Yep.
love from
Lots
the
of
States
history.
to Turkey. And yeah, I think that's our show for the day. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us.
Thank you, everyone.
It's amazing every Monday, Wednesday, Friday just to pop in and have all these beautiful people to hang out with. So growing together, learning together, building together. And we do have a Discord. If you have any questions throughout the week, please link is in the description. Join the Discord. Ask. I'm very active in there. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you need Jaime to answer them, even if he doesn't see it, I let him know. So please, we're active in there. We're really committed to this community. So love you from us.
Let's
Thank
go.
you for joining us for Coffee and Crypto. Let's go get after the rest of the day, huh?
See you Friday, guys. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye now. Okay.
Bye.
Okay. See you
Definitely,
later.
Definitely Friday.
Okay.
Friday. Definitely.
Okay. See you later. Keep calm. Huddle on.
Huddle on. Nice. I love our community.